Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your later like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news, somewhere at 12. My name is Hansen Delta Present.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation. Of Current Affairs Department of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Today is Wednesday, September 18, 2024. My name is Johnson Batoma presenting. In the headlines, Nobel Peace Prize winner Lehman Bowie supports Liberia's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. Says United Nations played a pivotal role in abating the conflict in Liberia in 2003. State Security Office arrested a man identified as Ibrahim Khalil Sharif for reportedly attempting to overthrow Guinean President General Mamadi Doumbouya. Foreign Minister Sarah Besto-Yantiv joins her counterparts from around the world at the upcoming Women Foreign Ministers meeting in Toronto, Canada. And away from Liberia, Islamic insurgents in Burkina Faso have started up attacks on civilians, carrying out door-to-door killings, slaughtering troops, and targeting Christian worshippers. A report by campaign group Human Rights Watch says these plus many more. The bulletin of news as well as sports are all packaged on today's edition of the program News Desk. Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited are our two sponsors on the News Desk program. We'll take this break to be right back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
At the pace with the reading of the news bulletin. Good evening.
Good evening, Johnson. Nobel Peace Prize winner Lehman Bowie has expressed support for Liberia's bid for a non-permanent seat to the United Nations Security Council. The government of Liberia is vying for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council at the ongoing General Assembly in New York. The United States has called on permanent Liberians to join the campaign. Among permanent Liberians asked by the government to join the campaign are 2011 Nobel laureate Lehman Bowie, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and George Weah. In an official Facebook post on Wednesday, Madame Bowie said she honored to support the government of Liberia in their bid for a non-permanent seat to the United Nations Security Council. She said the United Nations play a pivotal role in combating the conflict in Liberia in 2003, adding a non-permanent seat to the United Nations Security Council will allow Liberia to continue to make contributions to the legacy of peace and conflict resolution that the nation and citizens have worked tirelessly to cultivate. Foreign Minister Sarah Besto-Yantiv is expected to join her counterparts from around the world at the upcoming Women Foreign Ministers meeting in Toronto, Canada. The high-level meeting, co-hosted by the government of Jamaica and Canada, will take place from September 19 to September 20, 2024 in Toronto, Canada. This gathering aims to address the most pressing global challenges and strengthen the influence of women in global diplomacy. According to the Foreign Ministry release, the two-day conference will tackle key issues such as global peace and security, economic development, climate change, and inclusive diplomacy. Minister Yanti is expected to bring Liberia's perspective on these important matters, emphasizing the nation's commitment to advancing peace, security, and women's empowerment. both at home and on the international stage. The meeting will be held under the theme Advancing Gender Equality and Empowering Women Through Diplomacy, and will offer a platform for collective dialogue and collaboration among female leaders from foreign policy. Liberia's participation in the Women Foreign Ministry meeting underscored the growing role in global diplomacy and the country's dedication to promoting gender parity in leadership roles. State security officers have arrested a man identified as Ibrahiman Khalid Sharif for reportedly attempting to overthrow General Mamadi Dobaye, president of the Republic of Guinea, through the border between Liberia and Guinea. Suspect Sharif, according to RCI judicial correspondent, was forwarded to the Monrovia City Court for prosecution with multiple offenses, but was later remanded at the Monrovia Central Prison. His charges range from mercenaries, armed insurrection, criminal facilitation, criminal conspiracy, criminal solicitation, and paramilitary activities. Our judiciary correspondent further revealed that due to lack of jurisdiction over suspect Sharif's criminal case, City Court Magistrate Ben Banco has transferred the criminal code A as provided by law. Prior to Magistrate Banco action, state security account, so the court shows that accused suspects Ibrahim and Khalif Sharif of recruiting several individuals in Liberia to serve as missionaries for the armed operation in Guinea. In that's it for the state that suspect Sharif was given 150,000 United States dollars by former Guinean President Datso Alpha Conde for the execution of the planned subversion of the current Guinean government. About 5 defendants who are at the 5th Judiciary Circuit Court in Grand Cape Bon County risk 10 to 20 years imprisonment for being in possession of several narcotic drugs. Defendant Tina Moritz, age 30, Tony Okoye, age 58, and other, according to RCI judicial correspondent, have admitted to the act when their indictments were read to them in open court to avoid wasting the court time. But another defendant with same offense has pleaded not guilty, thereby joining state prosecutors as provided by Chapter 25, Section 2, that's Section 25.5 of the Criminal Procedural Law of Liberia. Judge Usman Fiaka has since instructed the clerk of the court to communicate with the probation office of Grand Cape Bon County to do an investigative report for the 5 defendants constitute with Chapter 5, Section 5.35 of the prosecuting, that's the pre-sentencing guideline booklet. The intent is seeking to know whether the defendants in questions had previous criminal records before committing the acts which brought them under jurisdictions of courts. The judiciary correspondent said the probation office pending report will put Judge Fiaka in a position to render a balanced imprisonment terms for 5 defendants in a couple of weeks as provided by law. The Institute for Research and Democratic Development Executive Director has hailed the Liberian government, headed by President Joseph Boakai, for improving the country's security sector. Then Sayed said the level of work in protecting the safety of citizens in 9 months of the Unity Party government is commendable. According to him, there are total reduction in crime cases, harassment, and intermediation for the past month. Also use the medium to applaud the Civil Service Agency for its ongoing payroll verification exercise within government ministries and agencies. It spoke to RCI News on Wednesday in Monrovia. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is calling on relevant authorities of government and civil society organizations to thoroughly investigate the recent reports of graduation ceremonies of girls from the Sunny bushes in Margibi and Nima County. In a press release issued on Wednesday, September 18, 2024, the ministry said they have been informed that on September 14 and 15, 2024, separate ceremonies were held where traditional women paraded unveiled girls from the Sunny Bush and presented them to the public to be reinstated in the society. According to the release, in Margibi County, over 30 females, including minors and teenagers, were reportedly released from the Zina Hills Sunday Society School in Wiyala, while another incident was reported in Yamia District, that's Administrative District, Niba County. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection termed the situation as frustrating in the wake of government and civil society organization efforts to put an end to such practice in the country. The ministry therefore condemned the incident and remains resolute in its commitment to combating the stakeholders and communities to achieve the eradication of FGM practices across Liberia. The president of the National Association of Liberia Principals, Dr. Benjamin Wayi, is urging the Ministry of Education and WACS Liberia to reconsider their decision, mandating that 12th graders must pass the WACS exam before graduating from high school. Dr. Wayi emphasized that Liberia is the only country in West Africa implementing such a mandate, arguing that it could negatively impact students' futures. He urged a reconsideration of this policy to better support the educational development of Liberia's youth. The president of Lacoste College of Education made the disclosure on Wednesday when he appeared on the Truth Breakfast show. The Peace Building Office in Zreju, Grand Jida County has reportedly intervened in resolving the disagreement regarding the closure of Smart FM in the region. Grand Jida County Superintendent Ellis Grant said the brief closure of the station was to prevent fighting between two groups over the radio station. But speaking in an interview in Monrovia, Superintendent Grant said the current management team and board of directors have violated the laws governing Smart FM by overstaying in office. The Grand Jida County Superintendent revealed that the Peace Building Office has been tasked to conduct election for the new board and recruit a new management team for Smart FM radio station. The National Lottery Authorities has warned gaming companies against allowing youth below age 18 to participate in any form of gaming activities, that's gambling activities, at their entities across Liberia. National Lottery Authority Director, that's Deputy Director General for Administration, Ines Famulus, said the agency will begin taking legal action against any entity that continues to allow young people below age 18 involved in gambling at their entities. According to him, it is wrong to see school-going kids being seen at gambling booths while they are still below the targeted age. He added that any institution that will challenge the mandate of the authorities will be dealt with in accordance with the Liberian laws. That's NLA, the Deputy Director General for Administration, made the statement Wednesday at a 3-day roundtable discussion organized for employees by the National Lottery Authority. In another development, ARET Executive Director has vowed to institute a new measure that will monitor the workings of legislatures in their respective districts. Then Seyi believe those officials who are being paid by taxpayers need to report to those they represent. said Arrett will follow up on lawmakers that are working according to their functions and responsibilities. According to him, those reported will justify that a lawmaker is not just taking salary, but also providing his or her workers at the legislature. He assures the public that Arrett remains committed to its consistent fight in the best interests of the Liberian people. And away from Liberia, Islamic insurgents in Burkina Faso have stepped up attack on civilians, carrying out door-to-door killings, slitting throats, and targeting Christian worshippers. A report by campaign group Human Rights Watch (HRW) says it quoted a data showing that more than 6,000 deaths, including around 1,000 civilians killed by Islamic insurgents, have been recorded in the West African states in the first 8 months of the year. Burkina Faso has been battling jihadist groups, including those linked to Al Qaeda and the Islamic State, since 2016, when Captain Ibrahim Traoré seized power in a coup 2 years ago. He pledged to improve the their security situation within 2 or 3 months. However, the violence has only escalated. Released on Wednesday, HRW reports documents gruesome atrocities committed by jihadists. Attacks are often carried out in retaliation against communities who have refused to join the ranks of the jihadists to have been accused of collaborating with government troops, HRD said. In a February attack on church worshippers in the northeastern village of Isakina led 12 dead. That's our CR News Bulletin. Is back to you, Johnson.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakale, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we will take your plate like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Nous sommes à toi.
The council says the United Nations played a pivotal role in abating the conflict in Liberia in 2003. I'll bring you our first development on the program News Desk. The president of the National Association of Liberia Principals, Dr. Benjamin Wei, is urging the Ministry of Education and WIAC Liberia to reconsider that decision, mandating the 12 graders must pass the exams before graduating from high school. Dr. Benjamin Wei emphasized that Liberia is the only country in West Africa implementing such a mandate, arguing that it could negatively impact students' futures.
No contact high school graduation for white. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what justification is the type of West African examination results to high school graduation. When a child who is meant to use his hand, who was born to use his hand to live, God adapting to use his hand to entrepreneurship or super skills, only want to graduate from high school and go into that thinking about university. He want to do machinery and put and start welding his stuff around and making good designs of it, innovative design as is done in other countries. And we tell him to pass 5 subjects, including math and English. That child was only supposed to do machinery and pass machinery in way as it is done in other countries. When shoemaking is being offered in other places, when tailoring is being offered in other places, a child who has nothing to do with university, so we tie wire to the wrong indicator, and the player that was all the time when even getting university in the country a little bit over 80 according to the statistic provider and the Joint Education Sector Review. It's easy to get on this 80 university to know whether they are admitting students who actually pass the wire, so that you know definitely that if you want to go to university, you feel this thing, you're going nowhere, you better go to technical school. The time of wire to graduation has not taught us anything. Whoever brought that idea, I don't know how many years ago now, it's been over 7 to 8 years. Can you tell me the result they got from there? Anytime you do so, these are things that happen. You bring multiple stakeholder interests into the wine issue. Parents are concerned because the children their children are supposed to graduate. Schools, because you tie into schools, and Liberia is a country where 77% of the schools have interest because students failing the test, they tend to represent their school, and it will not show that they are good schools.
Dr. Benjamin Way is the president of the National Association of Liberian School Principals. They're speaking on State of the Nation on True FM. The Institute for Research and Democratic Development Executive Director has held the Liberian government headed by President Joseph Boakai for the improvement of the country's security sector. Densai said the level of work in protecting the safety of citizens within 9 months of the Unity Party government is outstanding. According to him, there are total reduction in crime cases, harassment, and intermediation for the past months.
9 months ago to where we are now, we seem to be hopeful. Security is reasonably good. People go out, they have no fear of being attacked by armed gangs who were roaming the streets, whether they were on official duty or what, 9 months ago. But now I think we have it much better. The economy is now putting bread on the table, but there seems to be some processes of hope that people are banking on. But the danger is the anything. But when you do a reflection of what the country is at the moment, there are two categories of people: the intellectual class. They will define the goodness of the situation in the country based on processes that will, but the ordinary man will define that as table to have for that day. So I think the government is doing incredibly well, making sure that people who enter government are on questionable conditions are filtered out of government. But that's not the end to it. You're filtering them out. You need to get the private sector energized so that people can get a job into the private sector. But if you push them out and create a human environment for them to get a job out by themselves or by someone, sometimes they can't resolve. It's disruption of public peace and other things and so forth. What do you say to people who are the belief that the ongoing payroll verification process by is a political it's a political environment? You should understand. People always say that. But I just said two things. The government needs to do the material issues. One, how do you redeploy the money that you save from that payroll money that you do right now? You need to be clear on that. Transparent, but which is in the right direction. Well, I believe it is in the right direction. I believe it's unfortunate for some people because, mind you, it is not all the people who are affected by the process whose names were not transmitted on the records properly, are in error all by themselves. Some people went there. Sometimes, officers, I will do it, they don't do it. And at the end of the day, people are now victims of the action. But you can't blame the administration. They're doing what they meant on the votes.
He is the executive director of the Institute for Research and Democratic Development, ARED. He's then said they're speaking. In another development, ARED executive director has vowed to institute a new measure that will monitor the workings of the legislators in their respective districts. Densai believe those officials who are being paid by taxpayer need to report to those they represent.
This time around, we're going to be monitoring whether the legislator has been able to go back with a fully documented report for each constituent, because the library people are paying for you to go to that constituent to brief them. We have developed indicators. Our report that is coming on now will be documenting those issues. It's coming on hopefully this month. We will be following up on whether you went back to the constituent and brief them on what you did when you were in session for the last 2 sections from January up to now. Whether you went back, and it has to be a documented report to your constituent. And when you come to your constituent will empower you on what you want to do when you come back. And that is what we call your legislative agenda. We'll be asking for that agenda. Those agenda will share an indicator that your expenditure, I think 8 to 10,000 that will give you to bring this into your constituent. It's going to be very, 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 very scrupulous. Well, yeah, it's about making sure that something is well, we got collecting our data and we use that to do that. We are also very interested in agencies, spending agencies, submit your quarterly report to the legislature, because when they take money on behalf of the state and the citizen, the money should be spent. The law says when the money is given to them, every quarter it should come to the legislature. That part of the legislature oversight that they should bring report to make sure that they account for that. We have our indicator to pursue that, to make sure people do it. We have observed over time that there is a special committee that in the legislature that waiting for these. We have followed closely that members of that waiting committee have always had a very, very, very flamboyant lifestyle over time. And we are concerned about what is happening. And because our study is telling us something different. There are always some form of coalition between that committee and people in the executive.
He is the executive director of the Institute for Research and Democratic Development. I read his then said in conversation with our reporter Coris Kanga. The National Lottery Authority has warned gaming companies against allowing youth below the age of 18 to participate in any form of gambling activities at their entities across Liberia. National Lottery Authority Deputy Director General for Administration Ines Famula said the agency will begin taking legal actions against any entity that continues to allow young people below the age of 18 to involve in gambling at their entities.
We have machines all in the street. We are calling on those who are running, operating those machines to please accept our request from them. We don't want to be harsh on them. We don't want to go that way. We will do a gentleman appeal so that they can be focused and be mindful that children under 18 still going to not play on those machines, because we don't want to gambling on the children. If they are adults, then go and do your game. But we don't want to see children from that side. We have jingles around. The gaming underage is illegal in the country. So if any violation they are doing, if decide to do deliberately to challenge us, we will also we will be according to the law. We'll take you to court, and then we'll be able to justify the reason why you allow underage children or school-going children to play on your machine. So we're appealing to them to be careful and to not allow children underage to play on your machine. Trying to bring this parliament, and our Director General, CEO, Reginald Lambo, is trying seriously to make sure that this thing is open to the country. So we are calling on all Liberians to join us, to help us to make sure that this thing can, because from that we will be able to contribute immensely to government budget. But if this is in full swing, we'll definitely be contributing to the general revenue of this country. LRA will have some share. LTA will have some share in it, because gaming online will have to use the link to internet system.
He is the Deputy Director General of the National Lottery Authority. He's in his family there speaking at this point. We now join Erin Butterfly, who will set the pace with the reading of the Passion Last Sports on News Desk. Good evening.
Good evening, Johnson, and good evening, everyone. Apige Kaya remains undefeated at the 45 Chess Federation Olympiad in Budapest. The young Liberian representative in the competition on Wednesday defeated a player from South Korea to remain in the world number 1 position with 6 consecutive wins from 6 game play at the moment. The 15-year-old secured wins over Brazil, Panama, Vanuatu, South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, and South Korea, respectively. The Olympiad is being held in Budapest, Hungary, with over 1,500 individuals and 175 countries taking part in the month-long event. In the opening fixture of the Olympiad, she defeated highly rated players from Brazil, South Africa, Panama, and Vanuatu. The result means she's Africa number 1 with 7 straight games at the Olympiad, making her the greatest female African chess player at the moment. It can be recalled in 2014, that's 2024, Little Kaya, who is the country's former female chess champion, who was surprising win over Nigeria, broke Michael at the Zone 4-2 West African Chess Championship, which were held in Monrovia, Liberia. As Liberia Football Club prepared for the new league season, the First Eastern the Liberian Football Association has announced that several clubs risk possible ban if they don't meet up with the regulations set up by the Confederation of African Football (CAF). Addressing the major press conference in Monrovia, Councillor Jacob K. Dario, senior chairman of the First Eastern of the Liberian Football Association, said that other clubs who have met up with the regulation, but some clubs are still behind in the process. Councillor Dario told the media that following a proper evaluation and verification process, over 9 clubs were identified as having outstanding documentation issues, which means they did not meet up the minimum requirement on a CAF regulation. Councillor Dario named the clubs in violation as Upper Women's Sa, Rio Munja, First Division Outfits, LPRC Audios, Heaven 11, and Mati Barrow, including Invincible 11 and Bill Martin, while second division clubs who have not met up with the regulation are Magibi FC, Junior Professionals, CC United, Samira FC, and NPA Angers. He said as part of the process, FIBA has invited the clubs in violation to a meeting where they will be required to explain their failure to meet up with the prescribed requirements set up by CAF. Now to basketball. Mati Barrow basketball team are on the verge of winning its 4th LBA First Division Championship. In the best out of 5 series of the Liberia Basketball League final, the Rollers have won 2 games with a 2-0 lead. The club first match against Sexton Morgans on Friday ended 88-62 points, while Sunday match ended 78-57 points. Barrow head coach Asa Arofedia described his team to straight win against their counterpart Sexton Morgans as a very encouraging moment, but called on his players to try their possible best to win their 3rd game scheduled for September 18 this evening at the SKD Basketball Gymnasium. He said winning Wednesday game will surely give them the LBA First Division title. And away from Liberia now, the 2024-2025 UEFA Champions League new format get underway on yesterday with exciting matches. Real Madrid defeated German Bundesliga giant Stuttgart 3-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu. Well, Inter Milan and Manchester City are repeating the 2023 UEFA Champions League final at the Etihad Stadium, where still remain goalless between the two sides. And more Champions League result as the match unfolds. Club Brugge by goal to nil against Borussia Dortmund, while PSG and Girona of Spain is still goalless at the moment. Celtic lead Slavia Batavia 4-1, while Sparta Prague recorded 3-0 victory over Cyber, Bulgarian and Shakhtar Donetsk settled to a goalless draw. It's back to you, Johnson, for the continuation.
Many thanks. Many thanks to Eric Butterfly. after the station or the radio station was speaking in view in Monrovia, Superintendent Grant said the current management team and board of directors have violated the laws governing Smart FM by overstaying in office.
Smart radio was manipulating the law that governed the station to prolong the stay in office. And I came to Monrovia and shared with him when the situation happened. I invited Smart. This is complaint that I received on the 28th of May. And I invited them and said, yes, our time is fire. We want to hold election, face gardens, they have already occupied 4 years. So to the betterment of the society, we're pushing social justice. The board of directors of Smart Radio were elected in 2018 by a constitution. In November of 2018, according to them, they revised the constitution. Now, who all approved it? 4% out of 9 persons, including that the constitution is revised. They extend from 3-year term to 4-year term. You extend term and you want to benefit from it. You extend term and you want to benefit from it. The constitution they revised in 2018 on July 1, 2024. What sort of dishonesty is that? So now when the people who wrote start to agitate, because I was preventing something like confusion. If people start to complain little things and you overlook them, the next thing you're going to drive the confusion, knowing the content are governing. So when you see these signs of early warning, you have to put out. As a superintendent, I took oath to protect the Constitution and the laws of Liberia. Those community-based bylaws and Constitution, they are also laws of Liberia. Because when they go to court, those are the laws that people use to investigate cases. So when I do that, I see that it's a looming crisis that I prevented, then you come on radio and say, but the people are peaceful. They're not talking, nobody complaining that people overstay offer. You imagine somebody who is supposed to be a democratic advocate saying they're going to turn on radio shamelessly. I see other guys from other radio stations, the anti-grant or reporter, I don't know, station talks like to say he's the author and finisher of the gospel. So I'm ashamed of our journalists. Some of them can be all, especially those who practice level journalism. They even gave Aliko very care for radio station. This situation started almost, let's say, 4-5 weeks running. Why is so difficult for you to take a trip there, meet with the local authority, meet with them, and find out the facts?
He is Grand Judah County Superintendent Ellis Grander speaking to a reporter taking us home on today's edition of Program News Desk. But as we take leave of you, a recap of our major developments. Nobel Peace Prize winner Zimbabwe supports Liberia's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, says the United Nations played a pivotal role in abating the conflict in Liberia in 2003. State security officers arrested the man identified as Ibrahim Kali Sharif for reportedly attempting to overthrow Guinean President General Mamadi Doumbouya. Foreign Minister Sarah Beslo Yanti joins her counterparts from around the world at the upcoming Women Foreign Ministries or Ministers meeting in Toronto, Canada. And away from Liberia, Islamic insurgents in Burkina Faso have stepped up attacks on civilians carrying out door-to-door killings and targeting Christian worshippers. A report by campaign group Human Rights Watch says, we'd love to say many thanks to our writers, contributors, correspondents for making today's edition of the program sources. Special thanks to Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited for their sponsorship. Nakita Rabos brought for us the news bulletin. Erin Butterford brought for us the Passion Last Sports, while Kowa Sangasara controlled and produced our sounds. Maya Torban was behind the camera. My name is Jongsing Bantoma. I presented. Good evening.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll keep your better like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen Delta present.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Via TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.